Hello, welcome to the Healing Place. And thank you for joining me for Pilates Strong and Mobile. So today I want to take a look at some strength and mobility in through the hips, through the glutes, through the hamstrings. And I'm going to give you a couple options here. So for those of you who don't like to be on your knees, you're going to go ahead and grab a chair. You could use a countertop as well. You could use a wall, whatever's feeling good for you there. And then if you feel fine on your knees, I'm going to go ahead and go into 4-point kneel. So I'll show both options, and you play with where is feeling good for your body today. All right, so starting with the chair, and holding on to the chair, I would want my hands on the chair here. As I come back and reach back, I'm going to anchor my left leg, my left foot actually, as I connect into my breath. I want to be really nice and long and strong in through my spine here. My arms are strong. My hands, I like to open them up on the chair as opposed to grip and grab. That means you're going to be doing a lot more neck. And I want you to really think about that core doing some work for you. Reach your right leg back here. All right. And I want you to flex your foot and bring your heel towards your glute. Just like you're going to drag that through the mud. Okay. Stay with that breath and keep using that chair. For those of you who would like to do the knee option, you're coming down into 4-point kneel. And I really like to make classes doable for everyone, no matter what's going on. So that's really important for me, is that to be able to teach movement and increase strength and mobility, regardless of whether you can be on your knees, off your knees, how your back is feeling. So elbow creases face each other. Shins get heavy. Let's try not to lock those elbows, but to keep them soft. Let's anchor that left shin. Take the right leg back, flex the foot, and let's bring the heel towards the glute. Exhale here. I want you to think about both hip bones facing the floor. I like to do about 10. Here's my 10th. I'm going to keep that 90-degree angle, bring that knee down, and start to reach it up. Just like I'm a dog kind of peeing on the fire hydrant. But I want to keep that work coming in through the side of my hip. And so if I'm on my chair, my knee is bent, and I'm going to be lifting it up this way. Okay, collarbone nice and wide. So you even caught it in myself coming up. So it's really easy to do. And just coming into the side of that hip. Good, let's do 2 and 1 more. Good, now float that leg up. So maybe you needed the leg to come down for a little rest and readjusting through the core. Maybe you can float it right up to a nice 90-degree angle. Okay, naturally, your leg's going to probably want to come out a little bit and your hip will lift. But can you bring both of those hip bones down towards the floor? Get nice and heavy in that left shin and then press up. It's like you got a tray on your foot and you're pushing it up towards the ceiling. Same thing if your hands are on the chair, the wall, or the countertop. 9. There's 10. Woohoo! Good work. I'm going to reach it back. And if my hands were on the chair, I would be doing the same thing, just reaching it back. Let's do 2 more breaths here. And on your next exhale, bring yourself up. Collarbone gets nice and wide. Let's anchor the right shin now, or the right foot. And I'm going to jump back up onto that chair. Okay, if you're on all fours, we're going to take that left leg, reach it back, flex the foot, bring the heel towards the knee. I want both my hip bones facing the chair. I want to drag it through the mud. Okay, if I wanted to up the ante a bit on my chair, maybe I could come down here. Little slight micro bend in that right knee. And watch that right heel stays a little bit heavy as well. There's my 10th. Now I'm going to float that leg. See how I've still got that 90-degree angle, and I'm going to take it up. Elbow creases face each other, nice and soft. Good, work with that breath. 8, 9, here's 10. Good, bring it back. Load it up. whether you're on your knee or on the chair, if you can. If you need a break, take it, join us back, and then flex. Now, push that tray right up towards the ceiling. Little small movement here. 8, 9, 10. Good. Take it back. If you're on the chair, you'll bring your hands back up. Take your ankle across your knee and go into a seated pigeon pose or figure 4. Okay? If you're on all fours, you could come in to a full pigeon or a figure 4. So if you go down on your back, you would take your ankle across your knee. If that feels good for you, leg down, leg up, okay? Head down and breathing here, stretching into that side hip. Or you could bring it through and come into full pigeon pose. And just getting that stretch into the side of the hip. So we want to take that right heel and anchor it into the left hip. Want to get nice and strong through that left leg. And strong through the arms. And for some people, their wrists bother them, so they'll make little fists here with their wrists and get really strong in through the wrist. Reaching up through the crown of the head. Let's do 3 more breaths here. And then on your next exhale, switching sides. So again, I could be on my back in a figure 4. I could have my hands on the chair with my ankle across the knee in a figure 4. I could be down on my mat in a full pigeon pose. I really like to offer all kinds of options so that you can work with what's feeling good for your body. Reach long through your right leg now. Let your left heel come into the crook of your right hip. Grow strong through your arms. And if you're sitting back, your ankle's over your knee, just think about reaching that pelvis back and down. There's no knee pain here. You could also be seated in your chair if you needed to. And let's do 2 more breaths. And last breath. Nice. Good stuff. All right. So regardless of where you are, let's come down into a plank pose. And so maybe that plank pose is going to look like this. And maybe it's going to look like that. And for those of you that you don't like to be down on the floor, maybe you're going to take that weight and just bring it back and plank pose this way. Notice that my collarbone is wide, my arms are strong. I don't want to push through my elbows, but keep them slightly soft, facing each other. Okay? So you're planking wherever is feeling good for your body today at this moment. We're creating that awareness in our bodies. And let's do 2 more breaths. Child's pose. Okay? If your hands are on the chair, you're going to reach your hips back like a standing down dog. Or you can come right into full down dog. Collarbone nice and wide. Elbow creases face each other, but let's let those shoulders roll away from each other a little bit here. Arms get nice and strong. Let's reach those sit bones back. Connect into your breath. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Ready? Let's come back into that plank pose, wherever that is for you. From the knees, from the elbows, from the chair. It's all good, just different. Work with what is. You can only build strength and mobility from your starting point. Not where you think you should be, but where you are right now. And if you're consistent with it, it will change. Press through the heels. Try not to let the back sag. Let's do 1 more breath. On your next exhale, body weight up for those of you going into down dog. For those of you going into child's pose, just reach it back. And for those of you on the chair, hands are on the chair and you're just reaching back through your pelvis. Let's do 2 more breaths. And last breath. Nice. And bringing it down. That was great. Good work. So as you can see, getting stronger and being more mobile really can happen anywhere. Using the chair, using the mat, being on your knees, being off your knees. Just really work with what is in your body. And then you can create change. But if you're working against yourself, you're going to maybe create pain. Not so great, right? So again, take it slow, work at it, progress, connect to your breath, and change will happen. Thank you so much for joining me for Pilates Strong and Mobile. And maybe you'll check out my All Things Yin Yoga on my YouTube channel as well, or here on my Facebook page on Thursdays, where we just get deep, stretch it all out. Great balance to our strong and mobile work. Thanks again. It's my pleasure to teach you. I'm Sherry Jibb at the Healing Place. Namaste.